Jacques Rousseau was born on June 28, 1712, and died in 1778. Shortly after he was born, his mom died after childbirth. A decade later, after his dad gave him an education, he then abandoned him. He was a Republican who believed all men should be treated equally. He was a composer and a writer who wrote many famous books, such as The Social Contract, Discourse on the Arts and Sciences, The Creed of the Savoyard Priest, Essay on the Origin of Languages, Considerations of the Government of Poland. He was also a philosopher as well as a Catholic man who later converted to Calvinism. He believed in a state of nature, which was an imaginative idea of a world with no government, like an anarchy. He believed this was the greater good. His goal was to find a way of preserving human freedom in a world where human beings are dependent on one another for satisfaction of their needs. Being a Republican and a well-known writer at the time, he mixed his political views with his philosophical views and wrote a book called The Social Contract, an outline of Republican-style government and the ideal relationship between such a government and its citizens. He became Catholic, but soon after reverted back to Calvinism. He affirmed the necessity of religion. He then turned into a religious nut. One of his known quotes was, "Human beings are good by nature, but are rendered corrupt by society." He knew that the way society was heading was not the right one. From that quote, we can tell that this issue exists today. Individuals today change themselves to please others in their community. Society is having a negative effect on the individual and is a source of evil. Jacques coined two terms used commonly by philosophers today. One of these was amour de soi, meaning self-love. He defines this term as all creatures have an instinctual drive to self-preservation. He realizes humans have this drive and uses this in his philosophy. His next coined term was pité, meaning compassion. He defined this as creatures tending to and relieving the suffering of others. Jacques got famous because of his essay that he had submitted into a contest. This essay was called The Discourse on the Sciences and the Arts. This was an award-winning essay. Jacques talks about a lot of freedom in his political philosophy. He aims to explain how man in the state of nature is blessed with an enviable total freedom. First, natural man is physically free because he is not constrained by a repressive state apparatus or dominated by his fellow men. Second, he is psychologically and spiritually free because he is not enslaved to any of the artificial needs that characterize modern society. Rousseau believed that the good government must have the freedom of all its citizens in its most fundamental objective. Rousseau believed modern man's enslavement to his own needs was responsible for all sorts of society ills, from exploitation and domination of others to poor self-esteem and depression. According to Rousseau, needs result from the passions, which make people desire an object or activity. In the state of nature, human needs are strictly limited to those things that ensure survival and reproduction. Unnecessary needs are the foundation of modern moral inequality.